Good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's last post ceremony. My name is Emily Hiles, and joining us today from the Australian Army is Private Rima Boss. This evening, we are honoured to acknowledge General An Soo Park, Chief of Staff, Republic of Korea Army, accompanied by Lieutenant General Simon Stewart, Chief of Army, and their accompanying delegation. We welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that love and support them. The live stream of this ceremony is made possible by the Returned and Services League of Australia and the RSL and Services Club Association. We welcome members who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony across Australia. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the pool of reflection by visitors to the memorial and students on behalf of Nil College, Nil, Victoria. If you're able, please stand and join in singing the national anthem. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit, in the heart of the land they loved. And here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight, we will read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 103,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and on operations for more than a century. But first, we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths and floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the pool of reflection.
Today, we remember and pay tribute to Private Norman Franklin Mintorn. Norman Mintorn was born on the 19th of December 1895 in the coastal city of Wollongong in New South Wales. Affectionately known as Norm, he was one of 6 children born to local jail warder William Mintorn and his wife Julia. He received his education at the local public school and played on their soccer team. After he left school, he worked at the town clerk's office, as well as serving in the citizens' forces and playing on the local cricket team. He was regarded as one of their star players and also enjoyed cycling. At the outbreak of the war in 1914, he was working in the nearby Port Canberra at the electrolytic works. Norman Mintorn enlisted in the Australian Imperial Force on the 20th of April 1915 and began a short period of training in Australia. Though aged just 19, he quickly stood out among his comrades and was specially selected to join the 1st reinforcements of the 17th Battalion. Having been in camp for less than 1 month, he embarked for active service on the 12th of May aboard the troopship Themistocles. Mintorn's unit arrived in Egypt a month later. There, they continued training in preparation to join Australians on Gallipoli, who had been there since April. Like many others, Mintorn became ill shortly after arriving in Egypt. Suffering from dysentery as a result of the contaminated food and unhygienic conditions, his health quickly deteriorated. He was taken to hospital in Cairo for treatment, but the illness had already taken hold, and he died there on the 30th of June, 1915. After his death, his friends and comrades organised for a special headstone to be erected over his grave. His comrade, Private Walter Kirwan, also from Wollongong, wrote in one of his letters home, "I will get a photo taken of Norm Mintorn's gravestone and send it to his parents, as we have a headstone erected which went to show how liked he was by his comrades in the battalion. Our officer, Lieutenant Fuzel, is giving 2 guineas towards it." A memorial service at home was held for Norm Mintorn on the local Presbyterian church. His grieving family and friends remembered him in a simple note posted in the Illawarra Mercury, which read, "One crowded hour of glorious life is worth an age without a name." Private Norm Mintorn was just 20 years old. His name is listed on the Roll of Honour on my right, among almost 62,000 Australians who died while serving in the First World War. His photograph is displayed today by the Pool of Reflection. This is but one of the many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Private Norman Franklin Mintorn, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and in the hope of a better world.
food and the sounding of the last post.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them. Lest we forget.
Lest we forget. We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Pozières or in the low scrub at Gallipoli, with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain, has thought in his last moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the last post ceremony. On behalf of our director, staff and volunteers, thank you for visiting the Australian War Memorial today and for your continued support of the Memorial's development project. We wish you all a very pleasant evening.